Hi and welcome to Movies Suck. Today I'm reviewing The Hunt. I was lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, to get to see this movie before the Great Disillusionment, otherwise known as the coronavirus lockdown. When they shut up all the cinemas and, there are worse things that I could have ended up watching. Can you imagine if the last movie you ever got to see in the cinema was Birds of Prey? That would be very, very sad indeed. So, I went to see The Hunt, and now I am left with the problem of deciding upon my verdict, and I am left in a state of slight indecision. After all the hype and the fuss this movie created, it is in fact a massive letdown. After the trailer, we all sat and thought to ourselves, what is this movie's agenda? And the reason we did this is because Hollywood is nothing but one big leftist agenda these days. It was kinda hard to figure out where they were going with this. Hollywood is diverse for diversity's sake, except of course where they can manage to exclude a certain part of society, which is just fine because, stuff happened a long time ago before anyone alive now was born, and that makes all of that part of society liable, and so to exclude them is just fine, especially to lecture about it. Cue Brie Larson and her racist comments. It is obsessed with intersectionalism, which of course means that certain parts of society wish to be treated better and with more privilege than other parts of society within the intersectional pyramid system, and that in turn led us all to believe that this movie was about the liberal elite hunting Hillary Clinton's deplorables, the uneducated, filthy, working class, redneck Americans that dared to vote for someone like Trump, the boogeyman himself. But after having watched the movie, I find that yes, it is a major part of the story, but those liberal elites are not shown to be any kind of heroes. They are in fact shown to be self-obsessed, moronic individuals with little understanding of the world beyond their own social bubbles. Which then makes you think that this movie is actually instead supporting the rednecks. And yes, to a degree it does in fact mean that, but there are various moments within the movie that lead you to realize that it was also not their intention to show the hunted as the heroes either. So, this movie can essentially be split into 3 acts. They are Act 1, The Slaughter, where we see the Conservatives dropped into the middle of nowhere with no idea why they're there, and then proceed to show these poor wretches being murdered by an unknown force, later to be shown as the liberal elite. Then we have Act 2, The Revenge, where Betty Gilpin shows these liberal fools that they are not immune to what they thought they could dish out with impunity. And finally, Act 3, The Resolution. In this part of the movie, everything is explained to us, and we find that it was all essentially a misunderstanding. But if you are rich enough and privileged enough, you can take your revenge in ways that are not open to most of us. But this act also negates the whole point of this movie, as we find out that our main star was not who she was made out to be for the previous hour and a half. And we also find that apparently 8 months of training is all you need to be able to hold your own in combat against a professional seasoned soldier, which really dragged me out of the story during the ending moments. It is one thing to use a gun, as anyone can learn to shoot well enough to hit things 20 feet away, but it is another thing entirely to learn to handle yourself in hand-to-hand combat, especially against someone that's been trained almost exclusively for combat. Obviously, talent can make up for a lot, but there's nothing like hands-on real-world experience to give you the knowledge you need to finish what someone else started. As for individual performances, I thought everybody in the movie did well with what they had. Nobody stood out as being an especially weak limb of this tree, though I did find Hilary Swank a bit grating as the psychotic elite pissed off that she didn't get what she wanted. But the real star of the show was Betty Gilpin in the role of Crystal, a woman so badass that she barely blinks while blowing someone's head off, and who, after being stabbed in the gut with a sharp bladed instrument, uses a blowtorch to cauterize the wound. I would be happy to see her in some more action roles, as I think she really manages to pull off the hard-bitten, tough as nails, yet still human and vulnerable enough to make you feel her pain when she does get hurt style characters. In any case, I'm interested to see what she will be doing next and look forward to seeing more of this side of her talents. Back to Hilary Swank and her grating over-the-top performance, which I just found too sideshow, too deliberately over the top. It just didn't ring true, though the characterization did fit the role of the bad guy. She was perhaps the only detractor in the acting department. I was sadly let down by this movie, in that it really was just another shock value movie with very little to say for itself, and certainly not much to say about current politics, other than to poke fun at it a little. So, here we come once again to my verdict. And my verdict is that if what you are looking for is yet another shock value movie that uses the same old tired tropes and gore, and doesn't try very hard to make you think about its message, then this is the movie for you. If what you are looking for is a fun movie that doesn't take itself seriously and just wants you to sit there for an hour and a half and chuckle a little and cringe a little, then this is the movie for you. On the other hand, what you are looking for is a movie that will properly entertain you, leave you with the feeling that it was time well spent, and that you may want to tell your friends about this movie and buy the Blu-ray, and spend the next couple of days discussing it with acquaintances and trying to work out all the little nuances of what made it so great, then this is certainly not the movie for you. In fact, what the hell are you doing even looking this movie up? You are a connoisseur. You should be checking out some of the great oldies or reading the books that some of these movies are based on, not wasting your time with puerile pathetic nonsense like this movie. Now go forth and search out Ice Cold in Alex, or Citizen Kane, or if you really need a great action movie, rewatch Die Hard or Predator. Or if you like the classics, then The 39 Steps or North by Northwest. And if you really, really must have some gore in your life, how about Nightmare on Elm Street or American Werewolf in London? And if you have any interesting choices and you want me to take a look at them, let me know in the comments, as I am always on the lookout for interesting movies. This has been Movies Suck saying, liberals, you mean lib fools, signing out. Leave a like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.